time and energy he's providing us. That would be great. So I'll give you guys 60 seconds to see if we can get your cameras on, and if you can turn them on and turn them right back off if you're driving or indisposed or whatever. So again, we can actually take inventory of who showed up. And I'm going to take a snapshot of this so I can figure out, again, I'm doing an inventory of all of our Zoom calls. And these Zoom calls are actually doubling as our minutes. So we're starting to get into an area where we're going to start doing Robert's rules. And I'm learning that, and I want to be able to start giving you guys an understanding of what Robert's rules is. And then we can apply them to the Zoom call. So without further ado, there are a couple of people who I'm surprised that aren't on here, but we're going to start. And this meeting today, May 2nd, is a after action review Zoom call. Some of you may know what that term is, and some of you may think you know, but we're going to get a real definition of something that I think is a great tool for us to incorporate in all of our pre-production, production, and post-production activities. And so AR is, what it's commonly known as the acronym After Action Review. So, we're going to have an after action review of our events and activities for Wednesday, April 30th, which was also known as National Apprenticeship Day, and the Laugh Back Live comedy special. So I'm going to ask General Bray if he can introduce himself and set the table for what it is we're going to try to accomplish today.
First of all, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep. We got you, sir.
Okay, I am General Gordon Bray. I'm a 35-year military veteran. And by the way, today I'm wearing, ironically, Sean John bibs. Doesn't mean I come out of them very quickly or nothing like that, but just that's what I'm wearing. So the purpose of the After Action Review is one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest contributions our military, and specifically our United States Army, ever created. It was an immediate. It was a combination of two things. It was an organized review of what took place in order to get ourselves better. When it first started, it was very brutal. I will tell you right now, literally commanders would be crying after the After Action Review. They would realize that it had some of the opposite effects. And the problem was there were people pointing fingers at others. And the problem with that was you have no idea, no matter who you are or where you think you observed from, what was really going through in the decision-making process that a person experienced. And more specifically, your view, whoever you are, is only your view. And since we were doing things like looking at the battlefield, it's like looking at a finish line from different angles, and without being on the spot, you really can't be for sure who crossed unless you're right on those 2 points that connect. So the After Action Review became something much more polished, and all of our war training centers, it made us better. It made us so that we were able to outthink the Russians and every other near peer adversary, because we were in this process and we started using more closely aligned simulations to everything except dying in combat. We're looking at a process. And by the way, when you think military, I want you to think about literally everything that happens in a business, except the end product is owning space, and the finality of making a mistake is a life. So if you're talking about medicine, technology, the ideas of policing, the idea of manufacturing, the supply chain management, all of that is what it takes to sustain a combat. And more specifically, even at a strategic level, the policies that you must have in place to make the right decisions. So as I look at this team, I want to one of the things I'm going to ask, first of all, is that each team member, and I'm going to start with the head first and then come back. Each team member, please tell me your name and what your role was, because that's going to become pretty critical. And Kevin, I'm going to ask you who was the executive director slash operations manager for this operation, because that person is going to have a bigger role than most. And then everybody else will have, and I'm going to put you in kind of chunks. The operations side, the support side, the command and control slash uh, directive side, the logistics side, and then the administration side. Okay, does that make sense to you all? And
Yeah.
so if you can kind of bend yourself, that would be helpful for me, because I will turn to those. I'm going to go down each of you at some point in time. So I'm going to let you, Kevin, tell me, help me know who starts, and then just go down the list till I get all the folks who are players. Those who are observers, I'll get to you at some point. But the reality is, we're going to try to get through this in about an hour and 50 minutes. I hope we got that kind of time. And so we'll start. And again, because the real goal is going to be at the very end, we're going to do what we call pin roses. In order to get better, somebody's got to be responsible for fixing what they owned. Does that make sense? Okay.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll start with myself. I was the person who held responsibility and accountability for everything on that day. I guess I would be the executive director.
Okay.
And I would then point out, I would say Chris J. Alex, if you can raise your hand, was second in responsibility for executing the event.
You said Chris who?
J. Alex.
That'd be me. General Bray, thank you so much for your service. My name is Christian Alex. I will let y'all know that I do have to be out at 20. I do have an audition, but I can hold off for about 30. So that being said, I was responsible and EP of the part of the comedy show, which was called The Laugh Back. It was a concept that I created, and I was the department head on that, on the comedy show side of things.
Okay.
Okay.
You got it.
Sir.
Okay. Next, I would say that the person who helped strung together a large part of our digital footprint was Shane Hyman. Shane, if you can raise your hand.
All right, pleasure to be here, everybody. Thank you again, General Bray, for all that you do. And yeah, I was basically the broadcast engineer. I led up the live stream, to make sure that we could be running in tandem with the regular professional equipment that was recorded, captured, and going to be used for, refined, post-produced, edited pieces.
Okay.
Okay. You see, there's a couple of people who were in the food chain but are not here. So I'm going to go to the person who was working closely underneath them. CJ, you represent some of the youth operations for our apprenticeship training. If you can introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is CJ. For this set, I was supposed to just be a cameraman, but I had the opportunity to get the set list together, pretty much be the liaison between the comedians and the DJ and Chris J. Alex. So yeah, that's what I did for this one, and I'll hold off on talking more for now.
Okay. Thanks.
We also had Brayton, Brayton Kroom. Can you unmute? And again, Brayton was part of the youth apprenticeship team. So Brayton, can you introduce yourself and what you did, your role on that day?
Absolutely. General Bray, thank you for your service. My my name is Brayton Kroom. I've done multiple roles in that day. I helped set up the stage. I was a greeter, having people come in and out of the building. I helped with organization for the event. I was a cameraman as well, audience filler. So anywhere that Kevin, Chris, or Shane needed, I was right there willing to help.
Okay. A couple other people have joined the call. I would love to get your faces because we're introducing ourselves and we can't properly do that if we don't have your face up. So for at least a couple of minutes, if you can allow us to see your face. Heidi and whoever 818-732-9020 is. Good morning, Heidi.
Hello. I can introduce myself next. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Heidi. I'm one of the apprentices for the CAR Foundation. The day that we had our event this week, I was pretty much behind the scenes of just taking videos of Kevin and everything that was happening behind the scenes, and as well as helping a little bit with live stream. And so it was a good day, and I really hope to, learn a little bit more about you guys and what we can offer.
Okay, great. 818-732-9020. Can you let us see your face for a few minutes? I don't know who you are. Okay, I guess that's a no.
Let's keep moving. Go ahead.
Okay, and we have one person who's just kind of an advisor on the sideline. He's going to stay on as long as he can. Jay Tucker. I think most of us know who Jay is from UCLA.
What's up, Brad?
Greetings, everybody. In 06 to General Bray and Kevin. I can only stay till the bottom of the hour, but definitely just going to listen and learn.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
And then we have John Schindler. So I want to make sure I introduce John, if you can come back on camera. John, yeah, I don't know how to introduce John. He breaks through all the frames, but John, if you can, maybe Shane, if you can introduce John and then have John introduce himself.
Well, my introduction would be light. John will represent it much better, but I will say that John is a partner, a friend, and a mentor. He has joined me at Next Level Global Technologies, and we're very fortunate to have him. And he's just jumped right in. He's a giver and a major contributor, and he's jumped in to be as helpful as possible with everything that we're doing here at Dakar. On to you, John. Thanks.
Thank you, General Bray. It's an honor to be on a call with you again. And Kevin, thank you for putting together such a wonderful event. So mostly I shot some documentary footage that was documenting what was going on from sort of outside of the event to be used for future purposes. And I'm learning so I can be a strategic advisor. In this particular situation, I also help to create a framework for a federally compliant after action review in writing and help facilitate to move that quicker. And I'm just hoping to be helpful in the future in other ways. So I'm learning about it. So thank you.
Thank you. Kevin, all right, is that it?
I believe that is it.
Okay, because I heard I heard that Chris said he's going to have to launch early. If you don't mind, Kevin, you can fill in the gaps. Kevin, Chris, I'm gonna ask you to do two things for me. One,
Sure.
From your perspective, can you tell me three parts? Who was the target audience of the event? What was the design of what was supposed to happen? And then I want you to give me a macro of what didn't happen. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And again, this is just empirical parts, and that's it. No no. This is not the time right now to talk about why. This is the who and the what. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so who is the target audience? On my side, it would be people who consume comedy. What? I'm sorry. And the second question, that's as what decision?
What was supposed to happen?
Okay,
In other words, this
um,
event targets consumers of comedy.
yeah. And this
Okay,
event, what was supposed to happen was this was supposed to be a pilot shoot for, at least on my side of it, it was supposed to be a pilot shoot and a litmus test and a test on actually filming a live comedy show for distribution.
okay,
And
all right. And how many how many comedians were supposed to be there? One comedian, two comedians, three comedians?
we wanted 5 to 7. We ended up getting 5.
Okay. All right. So, and your target audience was going to be how large? Expected.
Well, this was to be packaged to be primarily shot and distributed online. So, I mean, those were the numbers we were looking for. The target audience for the event was actually people who attend comedy. We didn't get too many people in that respect.
Did you have a number that you were planning to try to reach?
I did not have a number in mind.
Okay. So what was your minimum?
We didn't have a minimum just because of the timeline of how fast things happen. We had a week and a half to prep everything. So essentially, my main goal was to essentially put the production people through the paces and kind of see where they were at, professional wise, skill wise, camera wise. So it was more to just test the limits of the crew during the time that we had allotted, which was a week and a half.
All right. Excuse me. Okay, Kevin, to be clear, is there anything you want to add to what else was supposed to happen?
Yes, and I'll stay with the comedy production. I believe that the goal was to have a live studio audience that would be part of the experience. And we attempted to attract people during Wednesday afternoon, 12 to 1 o'clock in seats, and show maybe 2 o'clock to 3:30. We failed, in getting a half of an audience.
That's coming in a little while. Right now, you just got to say what you're trying to do.
Okay, yeah, we're trying to get 46 seats. We had 46 seats in the auditorium or in the sound stage, and that was what we were trying to fill up.
Okay, gotcha. All right, 46 packs live